What if the only thing standing between you and your biggest dreams is the size of your thinking? Imagine living a life where you dream boldly, act confidently, and succeed massively, not because you're lucky, but because you think big. Welcome to the summary of The Magic of Thinking Big by David J. Schwartz, a timeless guide that teaches us how to unlock the power of belief, ambition, and positive thinking, even when the odds are against us. Chapter number 1, The Power of Belief. Let's start with a simple but life-changing truth. Success doesn't begin with your degree, not with your bank account, not even with your talent or experience. Success starts with belief. That's right. It begins in the invisible space between your ears, in that quiet voice that whispers, "Yes, I can." Now, that may sound too easy, too good to be true, but it's the foundation of everything. David J. Schwartz, the author of The Magic of Thinking Big, puts it this way: believe you can succeed and you will, but let's be real. Most people don't really believe in themselves. They hope for success. They wish they could win. They dream about a better life. But deep down, they think, that's not for me. People like me don't get rich. I'm not smart enough, not lucky enough, not special enough. And that, right there, is the silent killer of potential. Not failure, not rejection, not a lack of skill, but a lack of belief. You see, belief isn't just some fluffy motivational idea. It's not about telling yourself fake stories in front of a mirror. It's a mental blueprint. It shapes how you think, what you do, and how far you're willing to go. When you believe something is possible, you activate parts of your brain that start looking for solutions. You notice opportunities you would have ignored. You attract people who align with your energy. You become willing to try, to risk, to fight for something better. Let's say you want to start a business. If you truly believe it's possible, you'll start learning about it. You'll make time for it. You'll push past fear. You'll network. You'll invest. You'll grow. But if deep down you think this will never work, guess what? You'll delay. You'll procrastinate. You'll quit before you even try. Belief is the switch that turns on your potential. Without it, you're stuck in neutral. But with it, you're unstoppable. David Schwartz says this beautifully. The size of your success is determined by the size of your belief. So if you're aiming small, if you're doubting yourself, if you're stuck in a loop of fear and hesitation, it's not your circumstances holding you back. It's your thinking. Right now, in this moment, you have a choice. You can keep playing small, or you can decide, right now, to believe in a bigger version of yourself. The one who dares to try. The one who expects more. The one who thinks big and lives even bigger. Because belief is the first step to everything. Chapter number 2, Excusitis, the failure disease. Let's talk about one of the most dangerous mental diseases. One that silently kills more dreams, more careers, more potential than anything else. David Schwartz calls it excusitis. Excusitis? Yes, it's the failure disease. And it's far more common than you think. Excusitis comes in many disguises. It whispers things like, "I'm not smart enough. I'm too old to start now. I just don't have enough time. People like me don't get those kind of opportunities. I was never born with talent like them." Sound familiar? Be honest with yourself for a moment. We've all said something like this. Maybe not out loud, but quietly in our heads. That's how excusitis works. It sounds rational. It sounds like self-awareness. But in truth, it's just fear in disguise. Let's break this down. When someone says, "I'm not smart enough," what they really mean is, "I've convinced myself that I'm not worthy of trying." But think about it. Were some of the world's greatest minds really born geniuses? No, they were just relentless learners. People who believed they could figure it out eventually. Now how about this one? "I'm too old." That excuse has robbed millions of the chance to live a second, better chapter of their lives. Here's the truth. Colonel Sanders started KFC at age 65. Grandma Moses began painting at age 78. It's never too late to think big, unless you decide it is. Or maybe you've told yourself, I don't have time. Let me ask you, do you really not have time? Or are you spending time on things that won't move you forward? Netflix, scrolling endlessly on your phone, overthinking instead of doing. Successful people don't get more time. They just use theirs differently. But I wasn't born with talent. Another classic case of excusitis. But talent isn't what makes champions. It's grit. It's practice. It's showing up again and again, even when you're not good yet. As Schwartz puts it clearly in the book, knowledge is power only when put to use, and then only when the use made of it is constructive. Now, I want you to pause and do something brave. Think of one excuse you've told yourself recently. It might sound like, I'll start once I feel more ready. I'm not confident enough yet. People will judge me. Got it in your mind? Good. Now imagine this. What if you just let it go? What if today you stop feeding that excuse? What if you took one small action instead? Because when you stop making excuses, you start making moves. And that's the secret. Excuses protect your comfort, but they kill your growth. Instead of saying, I can't, start saying, I'm learning how to. Instead of, I don't have time, try, I'm choosing what matters most. Instead of, I'm too old, say, I've got experience they don't. These shifts seem small, but they create massive results over time. Excusitis doesn't disappear overnight, but every day you fight it, you build mental strength. You start living by action, not avoidance. So, if you're done letting excuses run your life, then you're ready to start thinking bigger. Because the truth is, you're not waiting on luck or the perfect moment. You're just one decision away from breaking the excuse cycle and creating real momentum. Coming up next, how to train your mind to think big, speak with confidence, and act like a leader before you even feel ready. Chapter number 3. Think big, speak big, act big. Let's take a moment to reflect on something powerful. Why do some people rise above, lead, inspire, and achieve greatness, while others settle, struggle, and stay small? David J. Schwartz gives us a bold answer. It all comes down to how you think, how you speak, and how you act. Let that sink in. Small thinking shrinks your world. People who think small use timid words, take hesitant actions, expect minimal results. They say things like, I'm not sure if I can. This might not work. Maybe I'll try someday. They move through life cautiously, nervously, with a mindset built on fear and limitations. And here's the truth Schwartz wants us to understand. When you think small, you shrink your future before it even begins. It's like trying to grow a mighty tree in a tiny flower pot. No matter how strong the seed is, it will never flourish without space. Thinking big expands your possibilities. Now contrast that with people who think big. They speak with purpose. They move with clarity. They expect success before it even arrives. They don't hope. They decide. They don't wish. They commit. Instead of saying, maybe I can do this, they say, I will figure out. I will make it happen. I will grow into the person who can. The language of winners. David Schwartz shares a powerful insight. Your words reveal your beliefs, and your beliefs shape your destiny. The moment you start speaking big, you start thinking big, and when you think big, your actions become bolder, smarter, and more courageous. Here's an exercise you can start right now. Reprogram your language. Stop saying, I hope I can. Say instead, I will. Replace, maybe someday, with starting today. Don't say, let's see what happens. Say, I'll make it happen. Words create momentum. Let me tell you something important. Confidence isn't something you're born with. It's something you speak into existence. When you walk into a room and say, I belong here. When you wake up and declare, I'm becoming unstoppable. When you fail but whisper, this is just a lesson, not the end. You're not just motivating yourself. You're rewiring your brain to show up stronger, speak louder, and act bolder. Remember this. Your words are not just sounds. They are blueprints for your future. Speak like a leader. Speak like someone who expects to succeed. Speak like your life depends on it. Because, in a way, it does. The person who thinks big, speaks big, and acts big, that's the person who changes their life and inspires others to do the same. So here's your challenge for today. Take just one area of your life, whether it's your career, health, relationships, or mindset, and change the way you speak about it. Instead of saying, I hope things get better, say, I will take action to make it better starting now. Type, I will in the comment below if you're ready to stop thinking small and start living big. Chapter number 4, your environment shapes you. Let me ask you something. Who do you surround yourself with every single day? Think about it. Pause for a second. Are you surrounded by people who lift you up, push you to dream bigger, and challenge you to grow? Or do you find yourself in the company of those who constantly complain, gossip about others, always focus on what can't be done instead of what can? Because whether you realize it or not, your environment is shaping you moment by moment. Let me break it down for you. David J. Schwartz puts it like this. Your mind is a product of your environment. The kind of mind you develop depends on the kind of environment you put yourself in. That means the people you talk to, the media you consume, the places you spend your time in, they all program your thinking. Let me give you an example. If you hang around people who are always broke, discouraged, and negative about money, chances are you'll start seeing the world the same way. But if you're around people who are ambitious, solution-oriented, and talk about possibilities instead of problems, your mindset naturally starts to expand. That's the power of environment. Now listen to this. David Schwartz shares a bold piece of advice. Go first class in everything you do. At first glance, it may sound like he's talking about luxury, but it's not about flying first class or staying in 5-star hotels. It's about the standard you set for your life. Going first class means surrounding yourself with people who inspire you, choosing friends who believe in their dreams, learning from mentors who've walked the path of success. It means turning off the content that feeds fear and doubt and tuning into books, podcasts, and videos that stretch your vision. Because let's be honest, how can you think big if you're constantly feeding your mind with small ideas? Here's the truth most people never realize. Your thoughts are contagious, and you catch them from your environment. You absorb the energy of the room you're in. So, if you want to grow, you've got to upgrade your environment. Here's a quick challenge. Audit your circle. Ask yourself, who in my life challenges me to dream bigger? Who brings energy, positivity, and belief into every conversation? Who do I need to spend less time with because they drain my drive? Now don't worry. This doesn't mean cutting everyone out of your life, but it does mean protecting your mindset like it's your most valuable asset, because it is. And when your environment supports your growth, you don't have to force motivation. It becomes natural because you're surrounded by people who expect greatness, just like you. So remember this. Want to think big? Then step into environments that make you feel big. Surround yourself with bold thinkers. Seek out conversations that expand your dreams, and feed your mind with content that fuels your fire, because your environment isn't just influencing your success, it's silently deciding it. Chapter number 5, Action Cures Fear. Let me ask you something real. Have you ever felt stuck, like your feet are frozen in place? You've got dreams. You've got ideas. You even know what you should do next, but something invisible holds you back. And that something is fear. Fear of failure. Fear of judgment. Fear of not being good enough. Sound familiar? You're not alone. We've all been there. But here's the good news. David J. Schwartz gives us a powerful, life-changing truth. Action cures fear. Let that sit with you for a moment. Not motivation. Not more thinking. Not waiting for the perfect moment. Just action. Why? Because inaction is fertilizer for fear. The more you delay, the more you doubt, the longer you wait, the louder fear becomes. Pause for effect. Let's break this down. Want to start a business? You don't need $1 million idea or a perfect investor pitch. Just take the first step. Watch a video on business basics. Write down your vision. Call someone who's already doing it. Make a simple website. That one small move, it shifts you from anxiety into momentum. Afraid of public speaking? You're not alone. It's one of the most common fears in the world. But Schwartz says, you don't conquer it by avoiding it. You conquer it by facing it. Join a speaking group like Toastmasters. Record yourself talking to your phone. Say yes to small opportunities at work, in class, at social events. You won't feel brave at first, but the action itself breeds courage. And with each small victory, fear loses its power over you. Here's the key principle. You don't need the entire staircase. You just need to take the first step. Because when you act, you teach your brain, I'm in control. And that feeling, that confidence, is addictive. Remember this. Fear is like a shadow. The closer you walk toward it, the smaller it gets. Avoid it and it grows. Chase it and it runs. So the next time fear whispers, you're not ready, you whisper back, I'm not waiting. I'm moving. If this message hit home for you, type, I choose action in the comments right now. Not tomorrow, not someday. Today, right now. Because every great success story starts with someone who refused to let fear be the final word. And you're next. Chapter number 6, manage your mind. Your mind is like a garden, and every single day, whether you realize it or not, you're planting something. The question is, are you planting flowers, the seeds of success, optimism, belief? Or are you letting weeds take over, thoughts of fear, failure, and doubt? Because here's the truth. If you don't intentionally choose your thoughts, your mind will be overrun by negativity by default. Just like a garden left unattended, the weeds grow faster than the flowers. Your thoughts shape your future. Think about it. Every successful person you admire, whether it's a millionaire entrepreneur, a confident speaker, or a high performer in any field, they all have one thing in common. They manage their minds with care. David J. Schwartz says it clearly. Your mind is a thought factory. It produces dozens of ideas every minute. You are the boss of that factory. You decide what gets made. Now let's ask the real questions. Are you focusing more on your strengths, or are you constantly replaying your weaknesses? Are you thinking about your goals, your vision, your purpose? Or are you getting lost in doubt, comparison, and fear of failure? Cancel the negative noise. Negative thoughts are like mental viruses. They don't just stay in one place. They multiply. You have to cancel them. Consciously, catch yourself when you start thinking, I'm not good enough. I always mess things up. Others are better than me. And then say, out loud if you have to, no, that's not true. I'm in control. I'm growing. I'm improving. That small act of mental interruption is a game changer. It's not just about thinking positive. It's about training your mind to reject the lies that hold you back. Visualize your success. Make it real in your mind. Here's another powerful tool, visualization. David Schwartz talks about the power of seeing your success before it happens. Close your eyes. Picture it. What does your ideal life look like? What kind of person are you becoming? How does it feel to finally achieve your goal? The more clear and vivid that image becomes, the more your brain begins to believe it's possible. And once belief kicks in, your actions start aligning with that vision. Athletes do this. CEOs do this. World-class performers do this. Because what your mind rehearses, your life tends to reflect. Talk to yourself like you'd talk to a friend. Here's something most people never realize. The way you talk to yourself becomes the way you talk to the world. If you're constantly saying, I'm such a failure, I'll never be enough, I always screw things up, your brain starts to accept that as truth. But what if you flip the script? What if you started saying, I'm learning every day. I've come a long way. I'm capable of great things. This isn't about lying to yourself. It's about speaking in alignment with the person you're becoming. David calls this self-encouragement, and it's one of the fastest ways to build confidence and silence your inner critic. Bonus strategy: write down 3 wins a day. Let me leave you with a simple practice, one that literally rewires your brain for growth and success. At the end of every day, before you go to bed, write down 3 wins, big or small. Maybe you finished a difficult task. Maybe you resisted a negative thought. Maybe you simply got out of bed when you didn't feel like it. No one is too small. This technique teaches your mind to focus on progress, not perfection, on growth, not guilt. Over time, you'll stop seeing your flaws first and start seeing your potential. So remember this. Your thoughts are not just harmless background noise. They are the architects of your future. Manage them like your life depends on it, because in many ways, it does. In the next section, we'll talk about how to set big goals and actually go after them boldly, without fear, because thinking big isn't enough. You got to act big too. Stay with me. Chapter number 7. Set goals and go after them. Let's be real for a second. How many times have you found yourself dreaming, thinking about that better job, that successful business, that healthy body, beautiful home, or fulfilled life? But here's the hard truth. Dreaming without action is just fantasy. David J. Schwartz makes this crystal clear. A goal is more than a dream. It's a dream being acted upon. That line hits hard because it reminds us wishing alone isn't enough. You can't just sit back, visualize success, and expect it to knock on your door. You got to get up, plan it out, and go after it like your life depends on it. So, how do you turn a dream into a reality? David gives us a simple yet powerful framework. Step 1, write down a clear goal. This sounds basic, but 90% of people never do it. Don't keep your dreams locked in your head. Write them down. Be specific. Not, I want to be rich, but I want to build a business that earns $10,000 per month in 2 years. When you write it down, you give your dream structure. You give it life. You make it real. Step 2, break it into steps. Big goals are intimidating. That's why most people give up before they even start. But what if, instead of focusing on the entire mountain, you focus on the next step? Want to start a YouTube channel? Step 1, choose your niche. Step 2, write your first script. Step 3, record your first video. Step 4, learn basic editing. 1 step at a time. That's how mountains are moved. Divide and conquer. That's how high achievers operate. They simplify the big and take action on the small. Step 3, take action daily. Here's the part where most people drop the ball. They write the goal. They break it into steps. But then they wait for motivation, or the right time, or they quit when it gets hard. But the truth is, success isn't about taking massive action once. It's about taking small action every single day. Think of it like planting seeds. Day 1, nothing. Day 2, still nothing. Day 10, maybe a sprout. Day 100, you start seeing a garden. Day 365, a harvest. Big success, David says, is just consistent small wins stacked over time. It's showing up when no one's watching, working late when others are sleeping, saying no to distractions and yes to your future. So ask yourself, what goal is burning inside you? What dream have you ignored because it felt too big? What's one step, just one, you can take today? Because if you do nothing a year from now, you'll be in the same place. But if you commit to one action every day, in a year, your life could be unrecognizable in the best way possible. Don't just think big. Don't just dream big. Plan big. Work big. Persist big. That's how success is built, one focused step at a time. So go ahead, set your goal, break it down, and take your first step today. Chapter number 8. Think big to live big. So, let's bring it home. What is the real magic behind thinking big? It's not just about making more money. It's not about having a fancier car or a bigger house. No, it's about becoming the person you were always meant to be. Think about this for a second. How many dreams have you locked away because they felt too big? How many times have you told yourself, that's not for people like me? That dream is out of my league. I'm not ready yet. Be honest with yourself, because the truth is, every time you think small, every time you settle, every time you shrink your dream to match your fear, You bury a little piece of who you really are. But here's what David J. Schwartz teaches us. When you think big, you give yourself permission to expand, to grow into the version of yourself who is bold, capable, unstoppable. You start living with belief, not doubt. You stop making excuses and start taking responsibility. You no longer let your past define you because your vision for the future becomes so much stronger. And let's get real here. There will always be fear. There will always be uncertainty. There will always be people who doubt you. But when you think big, really think big, you stop living by fear and you start living by faith. Faith in yourself. Faith in your potential. Faith in the process. And that, my friend, is when everything changes. That's when you start waking up with purpose. That's when challenges become stepping stones. That's when you stop chasing approval, because you're too busy chasing your destiny. So let me ask you now, with no hype, no fluff, just one real question. Are you ready to think big? Not tomorrow, not next year, but today, right now, because your dream life, the one that keeps calling you quietly, the one you keep seeing in your mind, it's not waiting for more money. It's not waiting for the perfect timing. It's not waiting for someone to give you permission. It's only waiting on one thing, your mindset. And the moment you decide to think big, to dream without limits, to act with belief, to stop settling and start building, that's the moment your real life begins. The magic of thinking big isn't just a concept, it's a way of life. And once you embrace it, you'll never think small again. If this summary inspired you to start thinking bigger, drop a fire in the comments and share your biggest takeaway. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more powerful book summaries every week. Until next time, dream boldly, act fearlessly, and think big.